My name is Goncalo. I'm co-founder and CEO of SyndicateRoom, which is an equity crowdfunding platform, the only UK-based investor-led equity crowdfunding platform.
Goncalo, lovely to have you here. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us. I know you've just come off stage at Guildhall. What were you telling the delegates this morning?
I was telling you a little bit about equity crowdfunding, about what SyndicateRoom is doing and how fast we're growing, but also about the innovation that is going on in the fintech sector in the UK and how the world is looking at the fintech sector that is happening in the UK.
And is it all hype, or are we really on the verge of something really special, do you think?
No, definitely not hype. It's very, very special. It's growing very fast. There are many different technologies that can help the banks, technologies that can compete with the banks, technologies that have nothing to do with the banks, and they're all growing very fast. And as people are looking to take more control over their finances, the alternative finance space is just going to become much more mainstream.
And do you think consumers are ready for it, or do you think there's sort of a lot of chat from the businesses and how to get the banks involved, but are we forgetting the customer? What's your view on that?
I think there are always the early adopters, and they will always, and they've already joined effectively the fintech scene. And for it to go mainstream, we have to evolve from the early adopters to effectively to the normal consumer, something that they can fully understand and want to be fully engaged with. And I think we are getting towards that mainstream part much quicker than most people ever envisage, and certainly banks. And I think it will definitely become mainstream in a not too distant future, to be honest.
And are we talking sort of a year or 10 years, do you think? What do you think the environment will look like at Innovate Finance Global Summit next year, for example? Or is it too hard to predict?
Well, it is too hard. Bear in mind that equity crowdfunding has grew over 400% last year. So, with this type of growth rates, it's really hard to predict. Certainly it won't be 10 years until it becomes mainstream. I would say 2 to 3 years and it becomes mainstream, and the normal consumer becomes very, very aware of the different options and stops thinking about the high street bank as the only option to go to, both on the investor side and also on the company side, because most companies still go to their high street bank for a loan, just as their only option, and when they said no, they just stopped there because they don't necessarily know, or they're not aware of the other options that are available now.
And of the businesses exhibiting today, what's going to catch your eye, do you think? Or have you met anyone yet that you find really exciting?
Yes, plenty. So different sectors within fintech, some of them working with the banks and developing technology for the banks. Those are very exciting because they are working with an existing infrastructure. SyndicateRoom, for example, it's completely different because it's setting up its own ecosystem, and it's setting up an ecosystem that hadn't existed just about 3 years ago. So, both different types of technology cater for different markets, and they have different existing or non-existent ecosystems that need to be created.
Fantastic, very interesting. Thank you very much for giving up your time. Really
You're
interesting
welcome.
to talk to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.